In the middle of deep space, alien fleets gathered like storm clouds before battle. Hundreds of ships hovered near the border of human-controlled territory. Their engines burned bright, their weapons armed, their crews restless for action. The Galactic Council had sent them here for one reason: to test the humans once more. Rumors had spread for weeks. Traders spoke of a new human battleship, something never seen before. But the alien commanders laughed. They called it a toy, a useless showpiece that Earth had built to scare children. Inside the command halls of the alien fleet, voices echoed with mockery. Humans, they are clever scavengers, nothing more, one general sneered. They build ships from scrap and call them war machines, another joked. The fleets roared with laughter, certain that nothing humans made could rival their empires, but not everyone laughed. Traders, smugglers, and wanderers carried whispers from the shadows of space. Their voices were quiet but sharp. Humans never build without reason, they warned. They fight in strange ways. They turn weakness into strength. The admirals ignored the warnings. To them, humans were small, weak, and desperate. Their worlds were few, their fleets thin, their technology behind. But still, the whispers spread, crawling into the minds of younger officers and older veterans alike. Then, one night in the void, the scanners of the alien fleet began to scream. A massive signature appeared at the edge of the sector. Something enormous was entering space from hypersleep. Alarms rang. Soldiers rushed to their posts. Weapons were armed. Engines powered up, and then it appeared. Out of the blackness drifted a colossal human ship. It was unlike anything the aliens had seen before. Its armor was dark, scarred, and heavy like the bones of an ancient beast. Strange markings glowed faintly along its hull, lines of blue and white that looked more alive than mechanical. The ship gave no signal, no greeting, no warning. It simply drifted, no lights, no weapons firing, no movement except the slow roll of its massive body through space. The alien commanders stared at it, confused. "Is it dead?" one asked. "It looks broken," another said. "Scrap metal," a young cadet laughed. Humans must be mocking us, but in the silence of space something else was felt. A chill, a tension that no one could explain. The human battleship gave nothing, yet it felt like it was watching. The silence itself began to scare even the bravest admirals. Older commanders shifted uneasily in their seats. They had fought humans before, long ago, in smaller wars. They remembered things the younger ones did not. Humans never fought fair, and they never fought clean. With broken ships and desperate tactics, humans had once turned entire wars upside down. One admiral whispered, "Why would they send this ship here? Alone?" The question spread like a shadow through the alien fleet. Yes, why? Why send one ship against hundreds? Why let it drift silently, like a ghost, as if it did not care about death? Was it bait? Was it broken? Or was it something else? Some cadets mocked louder, trying to hide their fear. "It is nothing," they shouted. "A useless trick." But their voices shook. One alien officer leaned closer to the viewing screen. His scales trembled as he whispered, "Look at it. The armor. That is not new, that is old." The ship's design looked ancient, almost as if it was built from ruins of other vessels. But at the same time, there was something advanced, something beyond the usual human craft. It was as if Earth had mixed the past with the future. Inside their command ships, admirals argued, "Destroy it before it moves. No, capture it. We must study it. Wait, what if it is a trap?" But the human battleship drifted on, silent and cold. For hours, the alien fleet surrounded it, their weapons locked. They expected movement, an attack, anything, but the ship gave nothing. Then strange things began to happen. Scanners glitched. Signals dropped. Ships reported static across their channels. Some claimed they heard whispers, voices in human language that faded as quickly as they came. Others said their navigation systems spun without reason, showing false stars and broken maps. Panic began to grow in the smaller ships. Pilots muttered prayers. Soldiers gripped their weapons, though there was no one to fight. Even the commanders, once so sure of themselves, began to sweat. Still, the human battleship drifted, silent, watching. In the alien war rooms, silence stretched longer than the void outside. The laughter was gone. The jokes had ended. Older admirals looked at one another with heavy eyes. They remembered the warnings of traitors. They remembered the strange ways of humans. And they understood something the younger ones did not. Silence was the most dangerous signal of all. The first tension built into fear. And across the stars, the question grew louder, echoing in every mind. Why would humans send this ship here alone? The alien fleets held their ground, weapons locked on the silent human battleship. Hours passed. Nothing happened. The ship did not fire, did not speak, did not even blink with a light. It simply floated there like a giant corpse in the void. But its silence was heavier than any weapon. In command halls across the fleets, the younger officers grew restless. "See, it is nothing," one cadet muttered. "A broken ship. Humans must have sent it to trick us." Another laughed nervously. "Perhaps it is empty. A ghost ship." Their words carried no weight. The veterans, the ones who had faced humans in older wars, said nothing. Their eyes stayed on the screen, sharp and uneasy. They had seen something like this before. Not the ship, but the silence. In the last war long ago, humans had played dead with broken ships. They let enemies come close, thinking victory was theirs, only to strike when it was least expected. Those battles still haunted the minds of older admirals. They knew better than to laugh. One of the eldest commanders, Admiral Korvek of the Thal, leaned back in his chair and spoke quietly. "This is no toy. I have seen humans turn old freighters into war machines. I have seen them fight with ships held together by scrap. Do not think silence means weakness." His words spread unease among the officers. Some dismissed him, but others remembered the old reports, stories of humans fighting when they should have lost. The Galactic Council had hidden much of it, burying the truth in archives, calling human victories accidents or tricks of luck. But in the shadows of history, the whispers never died. One trader had once said, "If humans send one ship, it is never just one ship. If they fight with silence, they are already planning the noise." Inside the alien war rooms, the debate grew hotter. "Destroy it now," barked a general. "One volley and it is gone." "No," argued another. "If it is bait, attacking will cost us dearly." A third voice added, "We must study it. Capture it before it vanishes." But the ship refused to answer their questions. Instead, strange things began to happen across the fleets. Scouts who flew too close lost contact. At first it seemed like engine failure. Then one by one, small ships vanished, leaving only static behind. No explosions, no debris, just silence. Fear crept in. Messages flew between fleets. "The ship is doing this, but how?" "It hasn't fired." "It does not need to fire," someone whispered. The admirals ordered long-range scans. Data returned, but it made no sense. The ship's armor reflected energy differently than anything they had seen. Some readings claimed the ship was centuries old. Others said it was brand new. Some claimed it was bigger on the inside than the outside. Scientists argued. Soldiers grew tense, and across the fleets old war stories returned like ghosts. One officer told his crew about the siege of Carthon. Humans fought with broken hulls and no power. "We thought they were finished, but they set fire to their own ships and used them as bombs. Half our fleet burned." Another remembered the Battle of Haran. "They pretended to retreat. We chased them. Then they turned their ships around and rammed our flagships. No fear, no hesitation, as if death itself was their weapon." The younger soldiers listened with wide eyes. The humans sounded less like warriors and more like monsters. The council had laughed at these stories, calling them myths. But now, staring at the silent human battleship, no one laughed. A message came from the council chambers far away. "Proceed with caution. Do not provoke them, observe." But it was too late for caution. More scouts vanished. Entire squadrons reported that their instruments showed false readings. Some swore they saw shadows of other ships, massive shapes moving just beyond the range of sight. Were they illusions? Or were there more human ships hiding in the dark? No one could tell. Inside his flagship, Admiral Korvek clenched his claws. He remembered the old words, spoken by a dying comrade long ago. "Humans fight like ghosts. You never see the knife until it cuts." Fear grew heavier. Not the fear of death, but the fear of the unknown. Why was the ship here? Why was it alone? What waited inside its black hull? Some believed it was a weapon, a test. Others thought it carried something far worse, human soldiers. Soldiers who fought like demons, who did not surrender, who did not break. The fleets remained on edge, their guns ready but their hearts unsteady. For the first time in centuries, the alien armadas did not feel like predators. They felt like prey. As the whispers of old wars spread through the ranks, a new truth settled over the fleets like a storm. Humans had not come to fight a battle. They had come to remind the galaxy of fear. The silent ship drifted closer. Its size filled the viewing screen, swallowing stars behind its bulk. The laughter of cadets was gone. The debates of generals had fallen quiet. No one dared to speak, because deep down the alien fleets had grown restless. For hours they circled the silent human battleship, waiting for it to move, waiting for it to speak. But the ship gave them nothing. No signals, no lights, no weapons. It simply drifted. Finally, the younger commanders could not hold back their pride. "It is a trap," one hissed. "A game to frighten us. Humans are weak. We must show them strength," another agreed. "Send scouts. Test the ship. If it is alive, it will reveal itself. If it is dead, we will know." The admirals hesitated. Some remembered too much of old wars. But the pressure was great. The soldiers demanded proof. The council demanded answers. And the silence of the human battleship was slowly breaking their nerves. So the order was given. A squadron of small, fast ships broke formation and moved toward the human battleship. Their engines flared, their weapons armed. They darted like insects around the giant hull. The alien crews laughed nervously, calling it a hollow beast. "Look at it," one pilot said over the comms. "No defenses, no shields. It does not even react." The others joined in. "Perhaps it is empty. Perhaps humans sent us a corpse to waste our time." They circled closer. Scanners tried to pierce the thick armor, but the readings made no sense. Some showed the ship was hollow. Others showed it was full of endless chambers. Some even claimed the ship was larger inside than outside. The pilots mocked the results, but unease spread. Then, without warning, the first scout vanished. No explosion. No debris. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, like a candle snuffed out in darkness. The comms filled with screams. "Where did it go?" "Find him." "Scan again." The remaining scouts flew harder, searching for their comrade. But nothing appeared. Not even wreckage. Then a second ship vanished, and a third. One by one, the squadron blinked out of existence. No shots fired. No flash of light. Just silence. The command halls of the alien fleets erupted into chaos. Officers shouted, trying to explain what had happened. Engineers checked their systems, convinced it was an error. But it was no error. Their ships were gone. Panic rippled through the fleets. Soldiers muttered prayers, captains clenched their fists. Even the bravest commanders felt cold fear. "What weapon is this?" one general demanded. "It did not fire," another shouted. "Perhaps it does not need to fire," whispered Admiral Korvek. The surviving scouts tried to retreat, but static filled their comms. Their voices broke into fragments. "Odd shadows. Everywhere." Inside the hull. "Stars are gone. It is looking at us." And then silence. All scouts were gone. The fleet stared at the black human battleship. It had not moved. It had not spoken. Yet it had swallowed a dozen ships without a trace. For the first time, the alien admirals felt helpless. Their fleets, mighty and proud, stood frozen before something they could not understand. Still, pride is a poison. And the younger commanders were not ready to admit fear. "This is illusion," one roared. "A human trick. We must attack with more ships. Overwhelm it before it can act again." Others agreed, their voices trembling with anger more than courage. Against the advice of the elders, they sent another wave. This time, a full squadron of heavy cruisers. Stronger, armed with plasma cannons and shields, ready to crush anything in their path. The cruisers advanced in formation, engines blazing. At first, nothing happened. Then the stars around the human battleship began to dim. The crews gasped as their sensors showed darkness spreading from the ship, swallowing the starlight itself. It was as if space bent around the massive hull. One cruiser fired in panic. A plasma bolt streaked across the void and struck the ship's armor. The fireball blazed and vanished. No sound. No shockwave. Nothing. The shot was gone, erased as if it had never existed. The cruisers tried again, firing together. The same thing happened. Their weapons disappeared into silence. And then the human ship moved. Just a little. A slow turn of its massive body. But the motion alone was enough to send terror through the fleets. It was alive. A low vibration hummed across the void, At first, it was felt more than heard. The decks of alien ships shook. Their engines flickered. Their weapons powered down one by one as if the ship's presence drained their strength. And then came the voice. Cold. Human. Calm. Do not test us again. Every alien heart froze. The words were not loud, yet they filled every channel, every frequency, every ship at once. It felt as though the voice spoke directly inside their minds. For a long moment, no one breathed. The battleship drifted once more, silent and dark, but the damage was done. The scouts were gone. The cruisers were powerless. The fleets were shaken to their core. Across the alien armadas, whispers spread like wildfire. What kind of ship is this? Is it a weapon? A monster? No, it is a warning. The admirals no longer laughed. Even the younger commanders fell silent. The galaxy had mocked humans for their weakness, their small worlds, their fragile fleets. But now, staring at the silent battleship, they began to realize the truth. Humans had built something greater than a weapon. They had built fear itself. And in that silence, every alien knew one terrible truth. The first contact had already begun. And it would not be the last. The galaxy held its breath. For days, the alien fleet surrounded the human battleship, their weapons locked, their soldiers restless. No one dared to move first. No one dared to fire again after the last warning. The ship drifted like a sleeping giant, its black armor swallowing the light of nearby stars. Every hour, more alien reinforcements arrived. Hundreds of ships became thousands, a sea of steel and firepower surrounding a single vessel. Admirals assured their soldiers, one ship cannot stand against an empire. Yet deep in their voices there was doubt, because this ship was not normal. Its silence was louder than any cannon, its stillness heavier than any fleet, and the memory of vanished scouts haunted every commander who looked upon it. Inside the war rooms, the debates raged without end. We should destroy it before it grows stronger. No, the Council forbids rash action. What if it attacks first? What if it's already attacking in ways we cannot see? Every argument ended with silence because none of them truly knew. Admiral Korvek, the oldest of them all, sat in the darkness of his chamber. His mind returned again and again to the past. He remembered human tactics in forgotten wars, their broken ships, their traps, their willingness to burn themselves if it meant victory. But this ship was different. It was not desperate. It was calm, and that calm was terrifying. Finally, unable to hold back fear, the admirals ordered more scans. Beams of energy swept across the battleship's hull, trying to pierce its secrets. But the results were madness. Some readings showed the ship was empty, hollow like a shell. Others showed it was filled with endless rooms stretching into infinity. Some even reported the ship was alive, its metal skin pulsing faintly like flesh. The scientists argued endlessly, but one truth was clear. Whatever the humans had built, it was beyond alien understanding. Then, on the third day, the ship moved. Not much. Just a slow rotation of its massive frame, turning to face the heart of the alien armada. The motion was enough to set off alarms across the fleets. Ships pulled back, soldiers shouted, weapons lit up with energy. The admirals stared as the battleship's hull began to glow faintly with blue light, running across its surface like veins of fire. What is it doing? One commander asked, his voice shaking. It's charging something, another replied. The fleets prepared for the worst. Cannons primed, missiles armed, shields raised, thousands of weapons locked onto the single human vessel. And then it happened. The stars dimmed. One by one, the points of light across the void vanished, swallowed by an unseen force. The entire sector darkened as though a giant hand had pulled a curtain across the galaxy. Impossible, whispered a scientist. It's draining energy from the stars themselves. Engines flickered across the fleets. Shields wavered. Weapons powered down. Entire ships went dark for seconds at a time, drifting helplessly. Panic spread like wildfire. It's attacking us. No, it's not firing. Then what is happening to us? The admirals tried to hold order, but fear clawed at every soldier's heart. How could a single ship dim the stars? How could it steal the light itself? Then the human battleship pulsed once. A deep hum rolled across space, shaking every ship, rattling every hull. On dozens of alien vessels, control systems failed. Engines died. Weapons froze. Screens turned to static. Crews screamed as their ships drifted out of formation, powerless. Yet the human ship did not fire a single shot. Admiral Korvek's eyes widened. It is showing us its strength. It is warning us, the younger commanders shouted in anger and fear. Fire everything we have! No, retreat before it destroys us. We cannot retreat. The Council will see us as cowards. But even their arguments felt small under the shadow of the ship. And then came the second pulse. This time the energy wave was stronger. Hundreds of ships across the fleets went dark, their engines silenced, their crews trapped in floating metal coffins. The dead silence of space was filled with the cries of soldiers as they realized their ships had become useless. A voice followed. Calm and cold, you test our patience, the words echoed in every mind, every heart. Soldiers clutched their heads, shivering as if the voice spoke inside their very souls. Leave, or be left in darkness forever. No one moved. No one spoke. The fleets, once proud and mighty, now floated helpless before a single human battleship. The galaxy had always believed humans were clever but weak stub. The alien fleets surrounded the human battleship like a pack of hunters circling prey. Their commanders barked orders, voices sharp and filled with confidence. Crush it before more humans arrive, one admiral declared, but deep inside not everyone agreed. Some alien officers shifted nervously in their chairs. The human ship had not fired. It had not spoken. It had not even moved except to drift slowly forward. The silence felt unnatural, like a predator waiting for the perfect moment. The younger soldiers could not understand the fear. They laughed, making jokes. Perhaps the humans forgot to turn it on, one cadet smirked. Maybe it is just a coffin drifting through space, another added. Yet the older admirals stayed quiet. They had lived long enough to hear whispers about Earth. They remembered battles where human ships fought until their hulls broke apart. They remembered how humans used strange tricks, traps, and desperate moves that no computer could predict. One admiral, scales trembling, whispered to another, "If this is truly their ultimate ship, we should not provoke it." But his warning was ignored. The first strike, a bold alien commander gave the order, "Fire!" Beams of energy shot through the void, slamming into the human battleship's dark hull. Explosions rippled across its surface, but the ship did not move. No alarms, no retaliation, see? The young soldiers cheered. It is nothing. They prepared for another strike, but then something strange happened. The human ship's hull began to repair itself. Broken pieces pulled back together like a wound closing. The glowing scars of damage faded into smooth, cold steel. The laughter stopped. "Impossible," one alien gasped. "No ship can heal that fast," another said in disbelief. The admirals stared in silence. Their worst fears were coming true. This was not just a warship. This was something new, something designed for fear. The awakening lights flickered on across the human ship. Not bright, not aggressive, just faint like eyes opening in the dark. Then came the sound. A low, vibrating hum rolled through the alien fleets. At first it was faint like a distant storm, but it grew louder, deeper, until it felt like the void itself was shaking. Alien sensors struggled to read it. Signals jammed, systems glitched. Communication between ships broke down. Commanders shouted orders, but their voices cut into static. The human ship had not fired a single weapon. Yet already the alien fleets were falling into chaos. "What is it doing?" a frightened soldier cried. "Disrupting us," an admiral realized. "It is using silence as a weapon." Fear spreads. One alien frigate, panicked, opened fire without orders. Its blast struck the battleship's hull again. The human ship did not return fire, but the frigate's own systems overloaded. Its weapons melted, engines failed, and the ship spun out of control. Other alien crews froze. "It destroyed itself," one whispered. "No," an admiral corrected grimly. "The humans made it happen." The truth spread quickly. Every move against the battleship was a trap. Every shot was turned back on the attacker. The younger soldiers who had once laughed now sat pale and silent. A message. Suddenly the human ship spoke. Not in words. Not in any alien language. Instead, a simple signal spread across every fleet. A short code. A pulse of sound. 3 beats, steady and cold, it repeated again. And again. The older admirals understood at once. It was an ancient human signal, used in wars long ago. Its meaning was simple. We are here. We are ready. The collapse the alien fleets wavered. Some admirals shouted for retreat. Others demanded another attack. But no one moved. Fear had done what weapons could not. The silence of the battleship was no longer emptiness. It was a threat. It was a promise. It was the weight of every human war, every desperate battle, every memory of Earth's defiance. For the first time, the alien empires realized they were not hunters. They were prey, and the human battleship had not even begun to fight. The alien fleets held their breath. Countless warships floated in formation, weapons ready, but no one dared to fire. Every eye stared at the massive human battleship drifting at the center of it all. It did not move. It did not attack. Yet its silence crushed the entire sector like a weight on their chests. Admirals whispered among themselves, their voices tight with fear. Why is it not firing? Why does it not speak? Is this the end of us? No one had answers. The human secret deep inside, the battleship was alive. Its core pulsed with strange power. Its design was not just human, it was something more. A fusion of old human engineering and secrets learned from centuries of war. The ship had been built for one reason: to remind the galaxy that Earth would never bow. Every system, every weapon, every silent hum was meant for fear, not just to fight battles, but to end them before they began. The aliens did not know this truth. All they felt was the weight of its presence, pressing harder with each moment. The breaking point, a young alien officer finally lost control. We must attack. If we wait, it will destroy us all. His fleet obeyed. Dozens of ships broke formation, unleashing a storm of fire at the human battleship. The void lit up like a sun. Explosions burned, shockwaves rolled through the dark. Every alien soldier cheered for a second, thinking the nightmare was finished. But when the smoke cleared, the human battleship still stood, untouched. The attacks had been swallowed into its hull, absorbed like drops of rain falling on an ocean. Then came the sound. Boom, boom, boom. The same 3 beats as before, louder this time. We are here. We are ready. The message spread again across every alien fleet. The fear grew unbearable. The silent weapon unleashed finally. The battleship moved, just one step. Engines flared softly and the massive ship glided forward, cutting through the void like a shadow stretching across stars. Every alien commander screamed at once, "Retreat! Retreat now!" But it was too late. The battleship released no missiles, no lasers, no beams of fire. Instead, waves of silence spread outward. Systems shut down, weapons went dark, engines froze. One by one, entire fleets drifted powerless. Thousands of alien ships floated like broken toys. The galaxy's strongest empires had been silenced by one ship. The final message, when all was still, the human battleship spoke again. This time, it was not just code. It was words, translated across every channel, every frequency, every mind. We do not seek war, but if you bring war to Earth, this silence will fall upon you. The voice was calm, cold, final. No anger, no rage, just truth. The retreat no alien dared to answer. No one dared to fire again. Slowly, quietly, the fleets pulled back. Admirals who had once laughed at humans now whispered orders of retreat. Soldiers who had mocked Earth now trembled in shame. The empires that had gathered to crush humanity left in silence. The human battleship did not follow. It did not chase. It only drifted there, watching, waiting, like a sentinel in the dark. The legend begins long after the fleets had gone. The story spread. Traders carried whispers across the stars. Survivors told tales of the ship that fought without weapons, that silenced entire armies with fear alone. They called it many names: the Silent Blade, the Ghost of Earth, the battleship that needed no war. But one truth remained the same. The galaxy had learned a lesson that day. Humans did not build toys. They built nightmares, and when the ultimate battleship appeared, even the greatest empires fell silent in fear.